This is episode 48, songs 2060 to 2041.
Christopher Williams, Billboard Top 3000.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Chris's Billboard Top 3000 Countdown Podcast, where I discuss a set of 20 songs as they are ranked on Billboard's Hot 100 All-Time Countdown. Now, these songs come from Billboard's Hot 100 from the initial chart on August 4th, 1958, all the way to the end of 2022, a span covering over 60 years of the rock era. Now, Billboard assigns a point value based on the number of weeks on the chart, its peak position, and how long it stayed there, and it's weighted for different times during the rock era. Those points were all tabulated up of the over 12,500 songs that have hit the top 40 in that time period. Then we carve off the top 3,000, and then I discuss them in sets of 20. We're going to start this set in 2014, and we're going to end this set in 2014, both by artists that have huge hits from that year, but these are their follow-up hits. The first one is Australian rapper Iggy Azalea. She burned really, really hot and bright in 2014. Born in Sydney, moved to the United States when she was 16 to pursue a musical career, and she had a huge one in Fancy, which spent 7 weeks at number 1 back in 2014. Her follow-up hit called Black Widow spent 25 weeks in the top 40 and peaked at number 3, and it lands right here as our opening song in this set. This is song number 2060, Iggy Azalea with Black Widow.
Black Widow, I'm gonna love you until it hurts. Just to get you, I'm doing whatever works. You ain't never met nobody that'll do you how I do you, that'll bring you to your knees. Praise Jesus, hallelujah.
Amethyst Amelia Kelly, otherwise known as Iggy Azalea, despite worldwide being one of the best-selling female rappers of all time, she didn't have a whole lot of top 40 hits on the American charts, just 4 of them. 2 of them made the top 10, Fancy and this one, and it leads off our countdown. Song number 2060, that was Iggy Azalea and Black Widow. And hello, everybody. I am talking to you live from Mexico at the Puerto Aventura Dreams Resort and Spa for a little R&R with the family. I am literally sitting on a pool chair right now next to the whirlpool where a whole bunch of people are talking. But I kind of wanted to give that background noise to further accentuate the fact that this podcast is worldwide right now. I will try to make it where the sound quality is still just as high. And we have a great set for you here as we get closer and closer to the end of season 1. Only 3 more episodes left. And as I'm doing in these last 5 episodes, our special segment is kind of a recap of the first 1,000 songs that we're doing. I've done peak positions already. I've done artists already. This particular episode will feature the years. What years have been represented the most in these first 1,000 songs, and which ones have been represented the least? As far as who is in this set, well, we go as early as 1960 and as late as Black Widow by Iggy Azalea from 2014. We're starting to get more and more number 1 hits. We have 3 of them in this particular set, and we have a number 8 alert. There's only 3 songs left in the entire countdown that peaked at number 8, and we will get to one of them in this podcast. As far as the artists, well, we've got some heavyweights in there, like Elton John, and I asked the question to the Facebook group, and if you want to be a part of the Facebook group, just go to Chris Billboard Top 3000 Facebook group, and request to join, and I'll invite you in. We have 325 members currently, and I asked the question of them, what's your favorite song by Led Zeppelin? That's right, Led Zeppelin will be in this particular set. They didn't have a whole lot of singles. They were much more concentrated on people buying their albums, which is why they didn't release a lot of their big hits, including Stairway to Heaven. But their biggest hit, their only hit in this countdown, will be here in this set. So a lot to look forward to. But let's go to 1982, one of my favorite years of the rock era, and one of the Yacht Rock all-time classic artists, Michael McDonald, singing one of the all-time great Yacht Rock hits, I Keep Forgetting, a number 4 hit that spent 13 weeks in the top 40. And it's right here at song number 2059. This is Michael McDonald, and I Keep Forgetting Every Time You're Near.
I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. I keep forgetting how you made that so clear. I keep forgetting every time you're near.
He really provided a lot of the background of the late 70s and most of the 80s. While he wasn't necessarily the main singer on a lot of his tunes, he was featured in so many songs as a background artist or as a duet artist that it seems like every song had a little bit of Michael McDonald in it. This was him as a solo effort. We already heard from him once with Sweet Freedom, the theme from Running Scared at song number 2804. This was his best solo effort. I Keep Forgetting, song number 2059. We're going to hear him as a duet with Patti LaBelle, a number 1 hit, much later in this countdown, as well as the lead singer of the Doobie Brothers and their classic number 1 hit from 1979, What a Fool Believes. We're going to hear that one later as well. That was Michael McDonald with song number 2059 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. Moving on to song number 2058. I did a special segment a couple of podcasts ago about songs featuring sick or the flu or the fever, and got a lot of nice responses to that, including a response of one that I forgot, and it should have been one of the most obvious ones, pneumonia and flu. Well, who sings about the pneumonia and flu? Well, it's Johnny Rivers talking about the rock and roll pneumonia and the boogie woogie flu. We've heard quite a few songs from Johnny Rivers to this point. I like how he's kind of persevered from the 60s when he was doing songs like Poor Side of Town into the 70s with songs like Swayin' to the Music, Slow Dancin'. This one is a sweet rock and roll tune. Rockin' Pneumonia and Boogie Woogie Flu. It peaked at number 6 back in 1972 after spending 14 weeks in the top 40. It lands here at song number 2058. This is the great Johnny Rivers with Rockin' Pneumonia, Boogie Woogie Flu. It was originally written in 1957 by Huey Piano Smith, which peaked at number 52, didn't get into the top 40, but it really took off when Johnny Rivers covered it in 1972 and all the way up to number 3. That was Rockin' Pneumonia and Boogie Woogie Flu by Johnny Rivers. This is the 4th hit of his in this countdown, following Baby I Need Your Lovin' at song number 2928, Secret Agent Man at song number 2866, and Memphis at song number 2254. So how many more does he have? He has just the 1 hit, the number 1 hit, Poor Side of Town. We'll hear that in season 2. Song number 2057 is one you probably heard before, but might not know the name right up the front. It's by the band The American Breed, based out of Chicago. They formed in 1961 out of Cicero, Illinois, and I mention that it's because it's near my hometown of Berwyn, Illinois, where I grew up. They only had 3 top 40 hits in their career. One of them, though, made top 10 all the way up to number 5, called Bend Me, Shake Me. Spent 12 weeks in the top 40, and it lands right here at song number 2057. This is The American Breed with Bend Me, Shake Me.
Bend me, shake me any way you want me. Long as you love me, it's alright. Bend me, shake me any way you want me. You got the power to turn on the light.
That was song number 2057, The American Breed with Bend Me, Shake Me. Interesting note about the American Breed. After they broke up in 1970, several of the members went on to join the group Rufus. You know the group Rufus with Shaka Khan that sang Tell Me Something Good in the mid-70s, a classic funk band. So they didn't completely dissipate, just joined another team. That was The American Breed, their only hit in this countdown. Song number 2056, and British New Zealand singer-songwriter Natasha Bedingfield takes the stage for song number 2056. She had 4 hits between 2005 and 2008, one in each year. 2 of them were mid-range hits, which peaked at number 17 and number 11, Love Like This and These Words. But 2 of them actually hit top 10, both at number 5. The first one, Unwritten, was her best hit, which we're going to hear later in season 2, but this one, her latest hit from 2008, a number 5 hit called Pocket Full of Sunshine. And you remember this song. When I play it, I guarantee it. Spent 26 weeks in the top 40. We're going to play it right here. It's song number 2056. This is Natasha Bedingfield and Pocket Full of Sunshine.
I got a pocket full of sunshine. I got a love and I know that it's all mine. Oh. Do what you want, but you're never gonna break me. Sticks and stones are never gonna shake me. Oh. Take me away.
See, I told you you've heard this one. Pocket Full of Sunshine, the dance pop, a little bit of reggae pop, which is the title song to her 2007 album, went all the way up to number 5, and it's song number 2056 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. We're going to hear her one more time, that incredible number 5 hit, Unwritten. I am recording live from Mexico in Puerto Aventura Dreams Resort. I wish you all could join me. It's really, really nice out here. But you can join me in other places in a whole bunch of streaming platforms. There's over 40 of them that have actually downloaded once. You can find me everywhere, on Apple, on Spotify, on Audible, on CastBox, on Podbean, on Victor Reader Stream, a whole bunch of different places. Just look for Chris Billboard, Top 3000. Look for my avatar and click on it and then subscribe to it. So every time I drop a new episode that you have a chance to listen to it right away. I usually drop it on Thursdays, sometimes Fridays, but I really try to do it once a week unless there is some type of emergency. So join the fun. I've had 53 episodes to this point as I'm making my 54th. And now on with the countdown with song number 2055. Now here's a band we haven't heard yet in this countdown, the disco group Chic, brought together by guitarists Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards. They've been nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 11 times, although they haven't been inducted yet, and they should be. They're one of the best dance disco groups of the late 70s, and particularly 1978 and 1979. Their number 1 hit, Le Freak, will be in one of the last podcasts. It was that incredibly popular back at the winter of 1978. This particular song is a 1978 disco classic called Dance, 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 Yowza, Yowza, Yowza. Do you remember this one? It's not my favorite by Chic, but my God, it's Chic. It's disco. Of course you're going to dance to it anyway. And Nile Rodgers is wonderful on the guitar. It peaked at number 6 back in 1978 after spending an incredible 17 weeks in the top 40. That was a lot back then. It is song number 2055. This is Chic with Dance, 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 Yowza, Yowza, Yowza.
Just dancing to the beat, feel the heat. I'm moving my feet. Heading towards the floor, gonna get down. I'll get down some more.
According to Webster's dictionary, yowza is an informal exclamation used to express approval, excitement, or enthusiasm. There was a lot of enthusiasm about Chic in the late 70s. I don't think people that haven't lived through that era fully appreciate how incredibly popular disco was in the mid to late 70s. And Chic was at the forefront of that. However, they only had 5 top 40 hits in their career, all in 78 or 79. 2 of them were number 1 hits, Good Times and Le Freak. We'll both be hearing those in season 3. But that was Dance, 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 Yowza, 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 song number 2055 on Billboard's top 3,000 songs of all time. Song number 2054, and Jason Derulo's back, one of the best pop artists of the 2010s. We've already heard him twice. One with one of my all-time favorite songs, Want to Want Me, at song number 2601. And then again, along with Josh 685 and the song Savage Love at song number 2115. That was a number 1 hit. This one is a number 5 hit from 2010 called In My Head, another fast dance pop song, perhaps a derivative of the disco movement of the 70s. It doesn't sound exactly like disco, but it's definitely dance-worthy. It peaked at number 5 after spending 27 incredible weeks in the top 40. It lands right here at song number 2054. This is Jason Derulo with his 3rd hit, In My Head.
My head, I see you all over me. My head, you fulfill my fantasy. My head, you'll be screaming no. My head is going down. My head is going down. My head.
I always felt that the 2010s had a resurgence or a renaissance of good pop music, like it was in the 80s. A little more dance-oriented, but still pop music with artists like Carly Rae Jepsen and Meghan Trainor. Jason Derulo is another one of those, and he strikes right here at song number 2054, In My Head. He's got 2 more songs on this countdown. What You Say, a number 1 hit, and Talk Dirty, a number 3 hit. Both of those will be in season 3. That was Jason Derulo. Moving along to song number 2053. And we go from Dance, 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 Yowza, Yowza, Yowza to Over and Over Again, the 1965 classic from the Dave Clark 5, a number 1 hit. It was the biggest hit of their career. It wasn't written by them originally. It was written by Robert James Byrd, and using the stage name Bobby Day, entered the Billboard charts in 1958. It was a slower version of the song, and it only peaked at number 41. It was actually the B-side to his hit Rockin' Robin. Dave Clark 5 got a hold of it in 1965, sped it up a bit, changed a couple of the lyrics, but still kept the essence of the song, and it rocketed to number 1. On Christmas Day, 1965, back at the time when Christmas songs weren't dominating the charts like they are today, it lands here at song number 2053. This is the Dave Clark 5 and Over and Over.
Well, I went to a dance just the other night. Everybody there was there. I said over and over and over again, this dance is gonna be a drag. I said over and over and over again.
The Dave Clark 5 had an incredible 17 top 40 hits in their career, but only 2 made this countdown. Bits and Pieces we heard at song number 2816, and this one, biggest hit of their career, Over and Over, song number 2053 on Billboard's top 3,000 songs of all time. Song number 2052, and the Backstreet Boys are back. They're back. They're loudly exclaiming, "We're back." In fact, that's the title of the song. The Backstreet Boys are back. I was mentioning about pop music in the 80s and the 2010s. Well, if you're talking about pop music in the late 90s, it's definitely boy bands like NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. It was hard to get around them. They had 12 top 40 hits in their career between 1997 and 2005. Never hit number 1, interestingly enough, but they did have 6 top 10 hits. We heard one of them already, All I Have to Give, way back at song number 2863. And this one, well, I already told you they're back. It's called Everybody. Backstreet's Back, a number 4 hit. Spent 20 weeks in the top 40. Lands right here at song number 2052. Let's hear a little Backstreet Boys, shall we? This is Everybody. Backstreet's Back. Whatever you think of boy bands, you have to admit that song in particular is pretty catchy. That was Everybody, Backstreet's Back, song number 2052 on Billboard's top 3,000 songs of all time. Will we hear more Backstreet Boys? Yeah, they'll be back. Of course they'll be back. Now we get to song number 2051. And this is the oldest song in this set from 1960, sung by country rockabilly star Jack Scott. It was written by Walter Scott, his only hit, no relation to Jack Scott. Jack Scott has several slow country rockabilly tunes on this countdown during his career from 1958 through 1960, as he was the dawn of the Hot 100 era. We already heard My True Love back at song 2349, a number 3 hit. This is also a number 3 hit called Burning Bridges. It was originally recorded by the Hometowners in 1957, but it didn't chart. Of course, Jack Scott's got a little bit more name recognition, took it all the way up to number 3. This is song number 2051, Jack Scott and Burning Bridges.
Burning bridges behind me. It's too late to turn back now.
It is definitely old-time country, what the traditionalists would call authentic country. That was song number 2051, Burning Bridges by Jack Scott. We're going to hear him one more time, a number 5 hit called What in the World's Come Over You. We will hear that in season 2. And we are halfway done with this set, which means I've reviewed 950 songs to this point, only 50 left in the 2000s, 50 left in season 1. And as part of our special segments that we've been doing, we are doing a bit of a recap of the first 1,000 songs. A couple of podcasts ago, I talked about peak positions and the peak positions most represented in season 1. In the last podcast, I talked about artists and the artists that were most represented in this first 1,000. Well, in this particular podcast, we're going to talk about years. What years are most represented in this first 1,000? And conversely, what are the least represented? Well, it is no surprise, since 1987 is the most represented in the entire top 3,000, that the first 1,000 would also have more songs from 1987 than any other year. A total of 32 entries of the first 1,000 are from 1987. Second place is 1977 with 29 hits, and a tie for third between 1959, 1965, and 1986. So we're hitting all the decades. The top one from the 90s is 1990. That had 21. The top one from the 21st century, well, you got to go down a little bit. 2003 had 13 hits in this first 1,000. Now, what had the least? Well, mostly stuff from the 21st century. There's not as many songs in the 21st century on this top 3,000 just because there weren't as many that hit the top 40, because they stayed in the top 40 for so much longer than songs from the 20th century. The lowest is 1958, the first year, and that makes sense too because we only started the Hot 100 on August 4th, so it only counts 5 months worth of songs. It would make sense that there would only be 3. But next would be 2021, that only had 4 songs in this particular countdown, and in a 4-way tie as the bottom third place would be 2019, 2020, 2015, and 2013. They all had 5 hits. All in all, it's a good cross-section. We did have one from every single year be represented in the 65 years of the rock era. I hope you liked that little bit of trivia as we recap season 1 and the first 1,000 songs on this countdown. Now, let's continue on with the last 50 songs and song number 2050, and we go to 1988, another popular year. And the band that we have not heard from yet, the pop Australian band INXS. INXS had one minor hit in 1983 called The One Thing. It peaked at number 30. And then they didn't have another hit for several years. Nobody would have thought they would become megastars just a couple of years later. But when the album Kick came out, that produced 4 top 10 hits, including the number 1 song Need You Tonight, that thrusted them to superstardom. If you remember 87, 88, you remember INXS was all over the radio, and rightfully so. They have a good blend of pop dance music. This song was also off the Kick album, a number 3 hit called New Sensation, probably my favorite song of the whole bunch. It lands here at song number 2050. This is New Sensation by INXS.
And you will find out in the end there really is no difference. Cry, baby, cry.
This is definitely a set of catchy pop tunes. That was INXS in their first of 4 hits on this countdown. New Sensation spent 12 weeks in the top 40 and peaked at number 3, and it lands right here at song number 2050 on Billboard's top 3,000 songs of all time. We move on to song number 2049. And we move all the way to 2007 and the rap group The Shop Boys with their one and only hit. The Shop Boys are Atlanta-based, consisting of Demetrius Meanie Harden, Richard Fat Stevens, and Rashid Sheet Hightower. They went all the way up to number 2 with the hit Party Like a Rock Star. You remember this hit. It actually was the number 1 ringtone of 2007. Remember when we used to purchase ringtones? Because it was a number 2 hit. What song kept it out of the top spot? It actually debuted at number 2 on June 9th, 2007 and spent 6 weeks at number 2. Why so many weeks after debuting so high? Well, it was also the same week Rihanna's Umbrella debuted, and that kept it out the entire 6 weeks before it finally slipped to number 4 and another 6 weeks in the top 10 before finally falling out after spending 16 weeks in the top 40. This is song number 2049. This is The Shop Boys with Party Like a Rock Star.
Don't you know the hoe be trying? Oh, don't you know I fuck with fine dads that look like Pamela? They fine and they hot, bro. When I'm in the spot, bro. I party like a rock star. Party like a rock star. Party like a rock star. Party like a rock star.
Song number 2049, Party Like a Rock Star by the Shop Boys. It was their one and only hit, so they'd be considered a one-hit wonder, but definitely memorable. If you're only going to have one hit in your career, let it be Party Like a Rock Star. That was the Shop Boys. Well, speaking of partying like a rock star, this group is the gold standard for partying like a rock star. I had asked the Facebook group what song they liked by Led Zeppelin the most. Yes, Led Zeppelin actually has a single that qualifies for this countdown. Normally, I'd mentioned at the beginning of the podcast that they were much more album-oriented. They did not want to release their singles and have them enjoyed individually. They wanted people to listen to their entire albums because it was a whole concept of listening front to back, which is why Stairway to Heaven, one of the greatest classic rock songs of all time, was never released as a single. But they did release a few, evidenced by their 6 top 40 hits and 1 top 10, which we'll get to shortly. But I wanted to know, what is your favorite song by the classic British rock group Led Zeppelin? And I got a lot of good responses. And remember, if you do respond in the Facebook group, you might be in this podcast. I start with my friend from Australia, Peter Mercia, who lists Fool in the Rain and Rock and Roll. Mark Hutchinson also agreed on Fool in the Rain, and Mark Enns as well, the Rain song. Jim Robertson lists Rock and Roll, so 4 people have named 2 songs. They have Plenty More, where Fred Hawson lists Whole Lotta Love. Kevin Johnstone, When the Levee Breaks. That one is one of my all-time favorites, When the Levee Breaks, especially from the movie Fargo. It was so excellently placed into that movie. Robert Brittenham lists Dire Maker. Jeffrey Marr lists 10 Years Gone. Matt Geske, I love the groove of Trampled Underfoot. It's on every gym playlist I've ever made. That is my other favorite song, between Trampled Underfoot and When the Levee Breaks. Marcela Nunez lists Dire Maker and Rock and Roll. Victor Cruz, When the Levee Breaks. Pam Turlo lists Kashmir. And Jack Smith lists Communication Breakdown. All good songs. I used to mention when I was in college that a little of Led Zeppelin went a long way, but I'm more ingrained in classic rock as I've gotten older and can listen to it all day now. Tony Bibick lists several, but his main ones, Stairway to Heaven and The Immigrant Song. Rhonda Work, welcome. This is her first response. Stairway to Heaven, because it's the song that brought me to the group, but also thank you. One of the most beautiful songs ever written. Thank you, Rhonda. Terry Bussey, Kashmir, done. Do you guys remember the radio commercial with the pizza and the guy said this is the other radio station's copy of Stairway to Heaven? Probably just me. If anyone has heard that, please speak up in the Facebook group. Ann Keen lists Kashmir, Going to California. Tim Frawley doesn't have one. Totally respect that, Tim. I think you'll be in the minority in this one, though. David Rainey lists Stairway to Heaven, and Mark Hutchinson says You Can't Make Me Choose, which he already kind of chose when he gave a +1 to Fool in the Rain. Tim Little lists Black Dog, without a doubt. The neighbors know whenever I listen to this song. Darren Held lists Friends as his favorite. Rich Worthington lists Dire Maker, such a departure from everything else they did, but so enjoyable. And Steve Ruskin says Stairway to Heaven, since it was my introduction to Led Zeppelin and lots of good memories. Second choice would be Kashmir. Elizabeth Armstrong lists Over the Hills and Far Away. So many good ones. If you go to the Classic Rock Top 1000, you're going to probably list 35 Led Zeppelin songs. But from a Billboard perspective, they just had the one top 10. And it's a really good one, too, that was previously mentioned called Whole Lotta Love. An incredible riff on this one. It goes into some interesting mystic places in the middle, but the riff itself is just tremendous. It was a number 4 hit back in 1970, spent 13 weeks in the top 40. It lands right here at song number 2048. This is Whole Lotta Love by Led Zeppelin.
Way down inside, honey, you need it. I'm gonna give you my love. I'm gonna give you my love. Oh, want a whole lot of love. Want a whole lot of love. Want a whole lot of love.
It is so hard to pick a 20-second clip that encapsulates Led Zeppelin's music, but I think I did a pretty good job, especially with that rip. That was song number 2048, Whole Lotta Love by Led Zeppelin, their one and only hit in this countdown. I'm glad they had one so we can talk about it some. Moving on to song number 2047, and a group that is no stranger to this countdown or the top 40 in general. This Huey Lewis and the News. They were such an icon of the 80s. Of the 17 top 40 hits they had, 15 of them were between 1982 and 1988. This is the third song we've heard from them. They had a whole bunch of number 6 hits. Remember that? Heart of Rock and Roll, I Want a New Drug, If This Is It, Doing It All for My Baby, all peaked at 6. They never had any that peaked at 5 or 4, but then they had 2 that peaked at 3. And this is the first one. It's from 1988. It's called Perfect World. It spent 12 weeks in the top 40, and it lands right here at song number 2047. One better than Led Zeppelin. This is Huey Lewis and the News in Perfect World.
Living in a perfect world. There ain't no perfect world anyway. Ain't no living in a perfect world. But we'll keep on dreaming of living in a perfect world.
This is certainly a catchy pop hit heavy set, as evidenced by Huey Lewis and the News' Perfect World. Song number 2047 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. They've got 4 hits left, the other number 3, and 3 number 1s. They were very popular in the 80s, and they are not done yet. And now we're up to song number 2046, and it's the 4th entry in this countdown for the funk group War. And this might be one of my favorites because it has a very late 60s vibe to it. Those songs where he starts talking and telling a story and then goes into a singing portion during the chorus part of it. This is Eric Burden, and it was billed as Eric Burden and War at the time that the song was released. Now, Eric Burden was famously the lead singer of the English rock group The Animals in the mid-60s, but left to become part of the funk band War in time to make Spill the Wine, which is song number 2046. It peaked at number 3 back in 1970 after spending 13 weeks in the top 40. We're going to play it now. This is song number 2046, Eric Burden and War with Spill the Wine.
Came a lady. She was
whispered in my ear something crazy. She said, "Do wine, take that girl. Do wine, take that girl."
This is such a fun funk song. Spill the Wine, Eric Burdon and War, their second biggest hit in this countdown and of their career. Their first one, Cisco Kid, a number 2 hit, we will be hearing in season 2. But I've never realized how big of an influence War was in the 70s. I knew a few of their songs, but not how high they charted, and the fact that they made the countdown as many times as they did. So it's kind of cool to see that. That was Spill the Wine, song number 2046. Moving on to song number 2045. And here we have another number 1 hit. It holds the distinction of being the shortest number 1 song of all time, lengthwise, clocking in at a mere 96 seconds, 1 minute and 36 seconds. Now, most songs back in the 60s would not go over the 3-minute length. That was marked as death to all the DJs because it was just too darn long and people had no attention spans, which was a misnomer after American Pie came out in its 8-minute length. And Hey Jude came out in its 7-minute length and hit number 1. But Stay, the Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs hit, was only 1 minute 36. We're going to hear some of that right now. Now, the Zodiacs were a doo-wop group from the 50s, led by Maurice Williams from Lancaster, South Carolina. They had many different names, like the Royal Charms, the Gladiolas, and the Excellos, but landed on the Zodiacs in 1959 in time to make their one and only top 40 hit. And that went to number 1 on November 21st, 1960, the peak of a 14-week stay in the top 40. It is song number 2045. This is Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs with Stay.
And your mommy don't mind if we have another dance. Yeah, just the one more time.
When I say the song title Stay, you might not recognize it right away, but as soon as you heard that clip, I'm sure you're like, oh yeah, of course I know that song. That was Stay by Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs, song number 2045 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. And that song was featured in a lot of movies, and it was covered by the Hollies and the Four Seasons and Jackson Browne in that wonderful mix, The Loadout and Stay. It's a song that lasts and lasts and lasts, and it's song number 2045. Moving on to song number 2044.
And we have a number 8 alert. We have a number 8 alert. We have been highlighting a lot of the songs that have peaked at lower positions in the top 10. Most of the songs in the top 3,000 peaked in the top 5 positions. But songs that peak at 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, while rare, we want to feature them because they're the highest ones at that peak position. We've already finished all the songs that peaked at number 10. There's one left that peaked at number 9 that we haven't gotten to, and that'll come up later. And there's only a handful left that peaked at number 8. All told, there are 51 songs in this countdown that peaked at number 8, and we have played 48 of them. This is the 49th, only 3 left, and it's by American Idol and country superstar Carrie Underwood. Yes, this is the song that you don't want to mess with Carrie Underwood because she'll beat the crap out of your car. It's called Before He Cheats, and interestingly enough about this one, it only spent 2 weeks in the top 10 at all. It went to number 8, but it spent most of the time in the teens and in the 20s. Yet it spent 52 incredible weeks in the top 40, which gathered up enough points to get it all the way to song number 2044. And that's where it is right now. This is Carrie Underwood with song number 2044. This is Before He Cheats.
Call my name into his legacy. I took a Louisville slugger to both headlights. I slashed a hole and out 4 tires. Maybe next time I'll think before he cheats.
She's quite bitter, isn't she? Vandalism disguised as female empowerment. That was Carrie Underwood and Before He Cheats, song number 2044 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. Carrie had 20 songs make the top 40 in her career between 2005 and 2014. Yet only one song made this countdown before he cheats. She even had a number one hit, Inside Your Heaven, from 2005, which didn't make the countdown because it only spent 7 weeks in the top 40. But this one does, so I'm glad to get a chance to at least introduce her to the countdown world. That was song number 2044. Moving on to song number 2043. And the boss is back. Bruce Springsteen with one of his 7 hits from the Born in the USA album that made the top 40. And every single one of them made top 10. Isn't that amazing? And yet none of them hit number 1. He's one of the greatest artists in the Billboard pop chart history that did not hit number 1, despite his 18 top 40 hits and 11 top 10. Isn't that amazing? We've already heard him twice. I'm on Fire at song number 2614 and Brilliant Disguise at song number 2579. This one is a catchy pop tune about looking back on the days of youth with great admiration, appreciation, and some nostalgia, called Glory Days. Another catchy pop hit like a lot of them in this set. It peaked at number 5 back in 1985, and it spent 13 weeks in the top 40. And it lands right here at song number 2043. This is Bruce Springsteen, the boss, and Glory Days.
But all we kept talking about was glory days. Well, it passed you by, glory days. And the work of a young girl's eye, glory days. Glory days.
Almost has like a sing-along Irish vibe to it, doesn't it? I had hinted that this song was coming in the Facebook group, and a number of people mentioned that this was their favorite Bruce Springsteen song, and it's not hard to imagine why. It really is good. It's fun. That was Glory Days, song number 2043 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. Of course, we're not done with the boss, but he only has 2 more songs in this countdown. He had 7 top 10 hits that did not qualify. I will say if this was a top 4,000 instead of 3,000, he would be on it 4 more times. But we will hear him a couple more before the night is out. And another legendary artist with another legendary tune that marks the 10th time that we are hearing from him. That's Elton John. Did you know that between 1972 and 1997, Elton John had at least one top 40 hit in every single year? The reason why it sounds like he's always on the radio is because he was always on the radio. Youthful heyday, though, was definitely between 1973 and 1975, where in that 3-year time span, he had 11 top 40 hits. 10 of them went top 10, and 5 of them went number 1, with another 3 going number 2. He was the top of the world in the early to mid-70s. This one is a mid-70s hit, a number 4 hit called Someone Saved My Life Tonight. The lyrics were by Bernie Taupin, the music by Elton John, one of the best tandems in rock and roll history, off the Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy album, another really famous one. And it lands at song number 2042. Let's play a little bit, shall we? Someone Saved My Life Tonight. This is Elton John.
Someone saved my life tonight, sugar bear. Almost had your hooks in me, didn't you, dear? You nearly had me roped and tied. All about.
That was Elton John with song number 2042. Someone Saved My Life Tonight. It's his 10th hit in this countdown. He has more hits than any other artist at this point. Unless you think that we are done with the Elton John run, we are not. He's got 12 songs left in seasons 2 and season 3. And we now move to the final song in this set, song number 2041. So who gets it? Who gets the drum roll this time? I gave one hint earlier that it was from 2014, bookending the 2014, since we had the first song, the Iggy Azalea hit Black Widow, start the set. We'll have a 2014 hit ending it. And it's also by a female artist who had a major song the same year, and this is her follow-up hit. And just like Iggy Azalea, she is also from down under, this time the island of New Zealand. Her full name is Ella Maria Lani Yelich O'Connor, but her stage name is Lorde, much simpler. She had 4 top 40 hits in her career between 2014 and 2017, but only 2 of them really stuck. There was the 9-week #1 smash hit Royals, which will be in the final 4 podcasts, and this one, a #6 hit from 2014 that spent 27 weeks in the top 40. Have you figured it out yet? Have I given you enough hints? Well, here we go. Song number 2041, and the best song in this set is Lorde with Team.
Living in ruins of a palace within my dreams, and you know we're on each other's team. I'm kinda over getting told to throw my hands up in the air. So there.
Alternative pop star from New Zealand, that was Lorde, and song number 2041, that is Team. She has 1 song left. It'll be in the final 100. And that will do it from sunny Mexico, as I'm still here until Saturday, soaking up the rays as best I can before I have to head back to very, very cold and windy Chicago. I hope the sound quality has been good. I had a lot of fun doing this at poolside. According to the Buzzsprout account that I've had now for just a little over a year, I have 9,051 downloads, getting close to the magic 10,000 download. Are you going to be the one that downloads the 10,000th? I will give you a special shout out if you are. The 4 cities that have been added to the family of the 997 cities represented in these 9,000 downloads are West Springfield, Massachusetts, Graham, North Carolina, Panorama City, California, and Ludwigshafen am Rhein, Rhineland-Pfalz in Germany. Welcome aboard. I'm glad to have you. I'm glad you're listening. And thank you, everybody, for listening. We have now had 48 episodes. We have just 2 left in season 1 as we close out the first 1,000 songs of this massive, massive, greatest countdown podcast in history. I'm looking very forward to closing out these last 40 songs. We got great sets coming up in 49 and 50. I've seen the songs. They are all good. At least most of them anyway. As always, I will end this podcast like I end every podcast by playing a montage of the clips that we have just heard. Thank you to everyone who have helped me along the way, including Jeffrey Mosher, Robert Rusk, and Mitch Worthington, and Robert Brittenham. Without their help and their encouragement, this podcast wouldn't be the best it could be. And thank you to my wife, Jackie, who's sitting right here. Without her help and listening to me ramble nonstop for hours on end, this podcast wouldn't be the best it could be. Until next time, take care. It is one of the great pleasures in life to connect with people, both through voice or through song. I hope I've done both. And so on, and so on, and Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Good day.
I'm gonna love you until it hurts. Just to get you, I'm doing whatever works. You ain't never met nobody that'll do you how I do you, that'll bring you to your knees. Praise Jesus, hallelujah.
I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. I keep forgetting how you made that so clear. I keep forgetting, Lord, every time you're near.
I wanna jump, but I'm afraid I'll fall. I wanna holler, but the joint's too small.
it's too late to turn back now. Burning bridges,
And you will find out in the end, there really is no difference. Cry, baby, cry. Don't you know the hoe be trying that? Oh, don't you know I fuck with fine dimes that look like Pamela? They fine and they hot, bro. When I'm in the spot, bro. I party like a rock star. Party like a rock star. Party like a rock. Party like a rock star. Way down inside, honey, you need it. I'm gonna give you my love. I'm gonna give you my love. Oh, want a whole lot of love. Want a whole lot of love. Want a whole lot of love. Ain't no living in a perfect world. There ain't no perfect world anyway. Ain't no living in a perfect world. But we'll keep on dreaming of living in a perfect world. Came a lady,
Una cosa de loco, una fiesta.
she whispered in my ear
Pero todas las cosas
something
tan
crazy.
azul, azul, porque estoy en
She
viaje.
said, "New wine, take that girl. New wine, take that girl."
And your mommy don't mind if we have another dance. Yeah, just the one more time.
Call my name into his letter sheets. I took a Louis little slugger to both headlights. I slashed a hole in all 4 tires. Maybe next time I'll think before he cheats.
But all we kept talking about was glory days. Well, they pass you by, glory days. In the wink of a young girl's eye, glory days. Glory days.
Someone saved my life tonight, sugar bear. You almost had your hopes in me, didn't you, dear? You needed